You are a shoe. I belong on the head. You belong on the foot.
I'm not a shoe. I'm a bloke.
You are a shoe.
I'm not a shoe. I'm a man.
You are a shoe.
I'm not a shoe. I'm a man.
You are a shoe.
I am a shoe. Shit.
What is up guys, MatticusTattooi here today, and today I'm here to do a very special review for the Blu-ray brothers as part of their sci-fi week. The film that I'm going to be reviewing today is the film Snowpiercer. Basically, I understand that this isn't one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, nor will it ever get that recognition, I doubt, but it is a very fantastic film and I wanted to explain my love for it at least. So there's going to be a brief synopsis of the film. Basically, in the future the world has fallen into an ice age after efforts to try and stop global warming. The only people left alive are aboard the Snowpiercer, which is a train basically built to withstand any condition. Aboard the train is a society which is very much like the world is today. And at the end of the train is the poor people, and at the front of the train is the rich people. And basically a revolt happens, and the poor people basically want to get to the front of the train and take over. So that's a basic synopsis of the film. Very basic. But basically the cast in this film stars Chris Evans, Tilda Swinton, Kang Song-ho, John Hurt, Jamie Bell, Octavia Spencer, Asum Ko, and many more. But yeah, as you guys know, this is a Korean film. It was made by a Korean director, Bong Joon-ho, who happens to be my favourite Korean director and one of my favourite directors of all time. He's made many different films, very different genres, from Memories of Murder, which is a thriller film, to Barking Dogs Never Bite, which is a black comedy, and The Host, which is a action drama film. So he's made very many different genres of films, but every single one has been absolutely fantastic, and now he's also brought sci-fi. But yeah, what I think of the film, I think from the release that it's just had in America and the reviews that are coming out, I think it's been mainly positive, to be quite honest. I think people are enjoying it, but I think from reviews that I've read that are bad, people are basically not enjoying it because it's almost advertised as a straight up action film, which I guess what the Weinsteins kind of wanted, but I'll get onto that a bit later. You know, it's been advertised as a straight up action film, which is not what the film's about. The film's basically about, you know, the poor trying to fight for survival, you know, and very much like it is in society today, because it's exactly the same really. You know, the poor always get trod on, and the people at the top, you know, are just living the lifestyle. And you know, it's happened many times in the past where, you know, revolts have happened and revolutions have happened where the poor just have enough, and you know, it builds up to that point where, you know, they're trying to overthrow the rich. Obviously, it's not gone too well in the past, but you know, I think that's what this film tries to convey, and obviously the graphic novel as well, which is where it comes from. But I really think that film does this so well, and I think people might be missing that point. I also think it helps if you've seen Bong Joon-ho's earlier work, things like Memories of Murder, Mother, The Host especially. I think you'll understand. I think you'll get a better understanding of his work if you've watched his earlier stuff and then watched Snowpiercer, in my opinion. But you know, that's just me. I could be completely wrong. But obviously as well, it does help if you like Korean cinema, or if you've at least ventured into Korean cinema before. I think you'll get a better idea for the feel of the film and the way the film's shot, and you know, the way the characters are portrayed. I think you'll get a better understanding of the film if you've dipped your toes into Asian cinema before. I think you'll understand a bit better at least. Basically, the Weinstein Controversy. Basically, the Weinsteins got a hold of the film when it was released. They got distribution rights for, you know, the West, basically, you know, the US and Europe, etc. And they basically viewed the film and said that people wouldn't understand it outright. You know, people don't want all this drama basically in an action film, and you know, Bong Joon-ho fought so hard. You know, even John Hurt came out and said basically the Weinsteins, you know, don't do it. Basically, I've performed in this film and I don't want this cut, etc. Stuff like that. And I really think they'd cut some of the pinnacle scenes out of this film you know, the drama scenes, which are very important to the story. I think this film would have suffered so bad in audiences, and you know, just trying to make it a straight up action film would just basically destroy the film, in my opinion. But basically, the Weinsteins lost in the end. You know, Bong Joon-ho won, I guess, but in in a certain respect, it didn't at the same time, because it's been given a very small release. I don't know if that's a bit of titty twisting by the Weinsteins, you know, basically saying, well, we're not cutting the film, but you're not having a big release. I just think it's wrong that companies should be able to do that. At the end of the day, it's the director's vision of the film that's important. But you know, it all comes down to money at the end of the day. But yeah, my thoughts on the film. As I said earlier, the social classes in this film is very much true to life, and I think that portrays it so well in this film. The actors' performances in this film, such as Chris Evans, which is, you know, he's known basically as Captain America. You know, that's where his fame lies at the moment. But his performance in this is very, very dramatic, and it's almost heartbreaking in places. He gives a very good performance. Also, Kang Song-ho, who's one of my favourite Korean actors of all time. He gives also an excellent performance, you know, which he always brings to every single performance. I don't know how he does it, because some films you just can't have the comedy, but he still brings it, especially in Memories of Murder. But he brings so much comedy to this film, but not comedy, but it's like humour and the drama aspect to it as well, because his daughter in this, who is played by Ah Sung-ko, who've collaborated together in The Host as well by Bong Joon-ho. They've got such great chemistry as father and daughter in the film. I think it works so well. Also, Tilda Swinton is absolutely terrific in this. She sounds like a Northern. She's obviously putting on a Northern voice, which we have in the UK. I think it's like a Yorkshire accent, and she's absolutely terrific as well. She plays an excellent performance. Other than that, obviously John Hurt is always stand out. He plays a terrific role. Octavia Spencer was nice to see as well, in a non-comedic role almost. There was a few moments where, you know, you thought she might crack a joke, but then she didn't, and it was nice to see actually. And you know, she really kicked ass in this film as well. It's really nice to see. So basically, if you had a hard time understanding the film, I would recommend going back and seeing Bong's other work. But I would also rewatch it knowing that, you know, it's about social classes, which it does portray in the film quite well. You know, it's not a hard message to understand, but I just think that gets a bit missed, almost, I guess. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Snowpiercer. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I want to say a big thank you to Luke, Robbie and Ryan for allowing me to be the first guest spot on the collaboration channel. So thank you all very much for watching. Bye.